So hey guys, this is I go by Lychee Punnet and I've got W Kim on the line. Say hi to everyone.
Sup?
Yep, so we're gonna be doing a quick run through of the Unlimited Blades work set that comes out either today or tomorrow. I'm not entirely sure. But
Depends on where you
anyway,
live.
yeah, pretty much. The list isn't up on the official site, but some of the vendors have it spoiled and Hong Kong has it as well, and basically we know most of the cards. So I thought we'd go ahead and do a bit of a review. So if you've ever listened to the Magic equivalent, so like constructed resources, they kind of snip out all the bad cards and talk about the good ones, but we're gonna ad lib it, and then we'll talk about the cards, whether they're good, bad, or meh. Like good cards, obviously good. Bad cards, we might not even talk about unless they're worth talking about, and then we just want to say they're bad. And then we have a lot of meh cards because in Weiss you either play a card or you don't, and you can play a card, but not necessarily good. So those cards get a meh rating. We all good with that?
Alright, so the first card is the
It
Saber.
is a saber. We don't have names for these cards, sorry guys, because
I do remember the name of this, or not the name, but what this card effect
it's
is.
like a knight's confidence or a knight's air or something
Something
like
like
that,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, the card is, I think this card is really good, personally.
Yeah, so for those who don't know what it does, it gives your center front row hexproof or untargetable effect, and you've got a one cost, put the top card of your clock into your clock zone, and then you get to search for any Shiro or Saber card. Yeah.
I think it's very playable, especially with UBW. I think this card is probably maybe two or three of in any deck that's planning on running any card with Shiro and Saber as a focus. So,
Yeah, there's plenty of those good cards too, including the next one we'll talk about. But this is like a mirror of the Taketsubo effect from Railgun, and that card is a 3 to 4 of in most builds because it's so versatile. You get whatever you want at any point in the game. The cost gets a bit prohibitive late game, but a plus is a plus at any point, and I think this is a very good card.
yes.
Also,
Hexproof is really nice too, actually, because there are a lot of really good interactions. In
I think there's two key interactions. I think the first is bounce effects, which are like they stop your opponent from bouncing your advanced summon, which is nice. But I think the more relevant one is it stops anti-damage.
Yes, that one is absolutely enormous, especially because we'll get
We've
to it
got
soon.
two cards down, yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah, I think this card is very playable. I'd give it a good rating. I'd say it's more than good, honestly.
yeah, I think this card is going to be pretty staple.
I don't know about staple because
I
honestly,
think it's going to be staple in that build.
Yeah, Shiro and Saber don't have that many good cards, and
Yeah, there. That's
yeah,
that's
it's fine.
that's the problem with the Fate set, at least as a whole. Is like there are a lot of builds that you could be looking
They're
at
kind
any
of
given
pushing
point.
a weird waifu, not really waifu, but like OTP
Yeah,
build type thing. They're moving away from their traditional master.
this is
Yeah, it's like
yeah,
one partner, one servant so
yeah,
far,
absolutely. All right,
which is fine. Yeah. So
second
next
card is
card.
coming up.
This card is a Shiro, Saber's Master Shiro. It's got one cost when you attack with the shot climax in the climax zone. You can pay cost, so you have to pay the cost before anything happens. This is notable. It gets 2k, so it goes up to 8k plus, presumably. And then when you kill your opponent, you get to search for a master or servant trait from deck. Thoughts?
It's good, but it's definitely worse than all of the equivalents.
Yeah, I tend to agree. These cards are good not only because they give you pluses, but because, well, the more recent iterations also let you build up stock. So your Shimakaze is costless, your Rin is costless, your girlfriend beta one, whose name I've forgotten, is kinda costless. Like it's
It's you,
less
you
heavy on
plus
summon.
one on the turn if you have three out.
Yeah, pretty much. And also you don't cost it doesn't cost as much stock. So
Yeah.
the ones that cost one, they've traditionally been fine, but they never really let you snowball in stock. So there's like a billion examples. Like even Melty Blood has one, and
Yeah.
we all know what Melty Blood is like. But I think this card is fine. It's a sweeper. It's gets you what you want, gets you literally anything you want, pretty
Yep.
much.
The nice thing about this one versus, let's say, the Fate Zero equivalent that you could also theoretically run is that this one is traded, so that you can actually search it.
Yeah, definitely. It's relevant traits too, and you can search it with the card we just talked about because it's got Shiro name.
Yes, it's also servant weapon, which is or master servant
Master
or
weapon.
weapon, which is like super relevant. The weapon trait is actually very relevant in a lot of
It's
builds.
good. Yeah, it's good. Um, the thing that a lot of people might have a problem with is the shot climax. I have no issue with playing any sort of climax if it's with a good climax combo. But that's just me personally. What
I,
about you?
I agree, but I just think in the context of this effect, the stock soul would definitely have been a better option.
Yeah, well, take what you can get, and I think shot is a fine climax, especially late game.
Yeah, especially with Musashi effects, the
Oh,
shot trigger is
definitely.
especially obnoxious if you can hit it.
Yeah, it's a very win more effect, but nothing wrong with win more in this game, hey?
Yes.
Anyway, aside from that, it's a very standard card. It's costless, so you can use it as beta even when you don't have the climax combo, and I think it's a very good card, and UT does too, because they have it at a obscenely high cost.
Yeah, I agree. All right,
Yeah.
third card.
This is the we've been saying Musashi here and there, but if you don't know what Musashi is, I'll say what the card does. So this is Saber. I don't know what the text says because I don't actually read Japanese. For every other master or servant, um,
Gain 500.
is it every other? Yeah, it
Yeah,
is every
every
other.
other.
You gain 500. So it's 11.5 if you've got a full field without support, which is unlikely, but you never know. And the other effect is on the turn this card is played, this effect activates once a turn. So when this card's damage is cancelled, you can mill the top card of your deck and then deal damage to the opponent equal to the mill card's level plus one. So you're guaranteed at least one damage because climax cards count as level zero. So you do at least one damage.
I think like the problem for Fate as a series going into UBW was that its endgame finishers were wholly lackluster. The only notable finishers being the Rin Archer from Fate Stay and the Rider from Fate Zero. So this is like a huge boon to the set's strength.
Yeah, like the set usually, it often ran yellow anyway because the best advanced summon was yellow,
Yes.
and it had some other good cards at level one, level two if you want to play them. But I think this card is fine. Like, it's the most expensive one on UT at the moment, and for good reason. It's very splashable. It doesn't need a climax combo like some of the other finishers do, and I think that any deck that can afford to run yellow can easily afford to run 3+ of this. So,
Yes. I think if you're going to run yellow in any capacity, this should be one of your level 3 slots for sure.
yeah, like, if you know anything about Weiss, then you've probably encountered a Musashi effect, and they're very powerful. So I guess to give this card a good rating,
Yes. Definitely good. All right.
good
Next
bordering on
card.
great, if we want to introduce a great rating.
I think the power effect is almost it's not super relevant on
No, it's
this.
fine because it
Yeah,
stays alive, and then you get a two soul beat in the next turn, which is something that for example Mako and Kyosuke and some other Musashi clones. Well, I think those are the only two really. Mako and Kyosuke don't really have. So
Marco, Adolf,
Mako or
Ma-
whatever her name is, the Kill la
Mako
Kill one.
from Kill la Kill. And then you
Yeah,
have
like if you're playing
Adolf.
Mako, you have that 2-0 counter, so it's a
Yeah,
bit of a moot point. But no, I think the power is relevant to some degree. But like this stops it from being clock kicked by everything that isn't like LB
yeah.
and
Twins
maybe
kicker is pretty
otherwise.
strong.
Yeah, anyway, that's fine. Like
Yeah,
I think
I
that's
think
perfectly
I
fine.
think it's fine.
And this is also better because, like we mentioned, the hexproof ability. If you put this in the center slot, then they can't anti-damage it. So Musashi does not get mic'd out.
Yes, that is definitely huge. Next card. I can't believe they reprinted this card. To be
Yeah, like
honest.
when I saw the one for Rin and Archer, I kind of laughed a little,
Yeah, I
and
did.
then when I saw this one, I just kind of face palmed a little.
Yeah, it's. I didn't expect this to reprint.
Uh,
This
yeah,
gives global clock encore to any card with the master trait,
yep.
and it also is come and play pay two search for the 1-0 climax combo double rare from this set as well.
Pluses on pluses. I guess we can talk a bit about the old master build here because that embodies kind
Yes,
of why this card is good. So the old master build ran
Avenger.
kind of big level ones, and it had this support called like WKM said, Avenger, which gave all masters clock encore, and you needed a pretty full field for stuff to happen. But yeah, Clock Encore is traditionally good because you can keep cards on the field, not have to waste cards from hand or stock encoring, and you get to keep hitting people. Obviously, you get hit, but that's the price for having essentially otherwise costless advantage. So giving all of your master traits this was just pretty solid because Fate didn't really have any solid level ones that didn't require specialized build otherwise.
Hmm.
And yeah, there were some other cards like there was a pseudo change into masters that gave you like 2-1 clock encores and yeah. So all you need to know is that giving clock encore to everything is pretty good and it's worth building around. But I think this is the less good of the two clock encores introduced.
Yeah, I completely agree, and I think that's largely due to the strength of the cards that the other Clock Encore is capable of supporting.
Yeah, pretty much. Like it's got nothing to do with how this card is. Like in a vacuum, this card is perfectly fine. But I just think it's the build that this fits into isn't as good as the build the other one fits into.
Alright, so the next
Um,
card.
s- oh no, no.
Oh,
First, thoughts on the second ability, the two costs.
if you're running a heavy yellow deck, then the second effect is really nice in the sense like one of the biggest problems for Shimakaze, and I say this is a problem, but like Kantai has ways of getting into hand no matter what anyways, is sometimes you just can't draw it. Right? Sometimes you just can't
Yeah,
get into hand, and in the sense that you're playing a staple card anyways, this is probably if you're gonna run yellow in a heavy capacity, you're probably running four of this to be honest. It makes it a lot easier to guarantee getting the double rare Shiro into your hand
definitely.
to get the effect off.
Like I'm a real stock miser, so I don't see myself ever using that sort of effect unless it's to pay out a climax. But um, it's definitely like not a bad thing. Like
I
it's good
think
to have.
the biggest problem for this effect is that it competes with the other searcher in that the other one that gives the center slot hexproof, the saber,
Oh yeah,
is only pay one
yeah.
clock.
Which I think is a lot. It's a lot more versatile. You can search the same card. You can search cards that aren't that card,
Yeah, and it's
which is very
also
relevant.
nice because they're both at level 0, so it's like at a point where searching isn't like a huge detriment to clock yourself for it.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, good rating. Good, but I think it could be better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, next card. We should move this along. This card is a. Oh, what do you do? You when this card attacks, if you've got all masters and servants, then it gains 1/5. So it's always a 4K. Um,
I it's just a level 0 as far as I'm concerned. It's like
yeah.
it's whatever.
It's,
It's
it's the resonance. It's the resonance target for some cards.
yeah, that's right.
Um,
That's why it's relevant. It's a resonance target.
I debate that. I debate that statement quite strongly, but we'll get to resonance and why I don't think it's relevant later on.
Fair enough. But I mean that's
Anyway,
the only
like,
reason why the card would be notable otherwise.
oh no, the card's fine. It's like a 4K on offense,
All
which
right, this
is
is the next
yeah.
card is what it resonates with, I believe.
Oh,
No,
oh,
this
there we
resonates
go.
with a Shiro.
Yeah.
Wait, is this a Shiro?
Yes, yes. No, no, no.
It's the same
That's the
card.
saber.
All right,
That's the
cool.
saber. So I'll just read. I'll just talk about resonance for a bit. It's the new gimmicky effect for this set. The effect is at your climax phase, reveal a X card from your hand, usually a level 0 or a level 1.
I think the phase
And
actually differs based on the card.
it could be, yeah.
I think this one's at
Oh,
attack. When this card
oh.
attacks, you can
No,
reveal.
this is climax phase.
This is climax phase? Okay, cool.
Yes. So at your climax phase, reveal the saber that we just talked about, the 4K, well, the 2.5 that becomes a 4K. And till the end of turn, this card gains 1 soul, and it's got Clock Encore. Now, I've got a laundry list as to why this card is not the best. First, uh, it's just not big enough.
Yeah, I agree. At 6K for 1/1, it's gonna get run over by levels costless cards, and at that point it says, is it worth having the two Soul Beater out at level 1?
Yeah, like even with two supports, you're probably going to be 7K, and if you're running this build, you're probably running the Shiro climax combo, so less chance of a 2K 1 soul. I mean, it's nice. Like you can side anything for 1, and you have a card to sponge damage on the next turn, though not really because you clock encore it. But all in all, I think this card is very lackluster.
I agree. I personally wouldn't run this in most
Yeah,
decks. I feel
I'm
like
not a fan.
the fact that it's costed on top of the low power just makes it really inconvenient, and then it also kind of forces you into almost running four of the level zero as well, which you
Yeah,
may not necessarily want to do.
pretty much. Like we've got other good level zeros which are more stalwart on defense. Like there's one in Fate Zero. There's yeah. I don't think this card is very good.
Yeah, I agree.
Um, I think we have to be harsh. Like we can't just say this card is meh for waifu builds. For a competitive build, I don't think this card will see very much play at all. So I'm just gonna say it's bad.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think any competitive deck will end up running this.
Sorry, guys. Anyway, next card is a unwilling to fight Shiro. Oh, I remember this card.
It's 500 and hand
If
encore.
you've got another saber, then it gets plus 500 and hand encore, and
Oh,
chances are it has
that's
clock encore
that
as well.
effect.
Yeah, and then it's reveal the 4K saber, and at climax phase you get 2.5, so it becomes a 10K, which is fine, and you kick your reversed opponent to stock. It's not a may, it's a you must.
It's absolutely terrible effect in my opinion. I just never see a reason why you'd want to be able to kick your opponent's cards to stock. It's just
Oh,
absolute.
I can play devil's advocate and say, like, getting rid of the clock encores. For example, if anyone played the 1/1 saber above, then this card is a beating,
But
but
but then what you run into the problem where like most 1/1 clock on cores, like if you're level
are
two
actually, yeah.
already, it doesn't matter, and the 1/1s are actually capable of still getting over this counter step.
Yes, I agree, especially with the 3/5 counters running around.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
Also within
no,
the
like,
context of Fate, you also have Command Seal.
yes, exactly. Although Fate mirrors are well, if you're playing against a deck that has Command Seal, then I don't think this deck's gonna do very well against it in the first place.
That's fair. I
Well,
personally
yeah,
just don't like the effect. I mean, if it was kicked to memory, I would be all over. Like, I would say the effect is like really useful, but even then, you still have the problem of it being a level two card.
mm. Like I think this card demonstrates how they're using resonance to kind of replace the climax combo effect, because this would normally be a climax combo effect, right?
Yes, yeah, it would be like a costless climax combo effect.
Yeah. Like this is it's meh. Like I don't think it's good. I don't think it'll ever see play. Um, but I don't dislike the carding concepts. Like it's exactly what yellow's traditionally
I
done.
love the idea. I mean, if it was like send to clock or stock and then remove the bottom card of stock and send it to waiting room, like that would be a much better effect than just sending it to stock.
Fair enough. Okay, so we'll just call it mediocre and move on, eh?
Yeah.
Okay, so the next card is a 2/1 Saber. Um, it's got a climax combo. When this card attacks, you can pay one if the what climax is that? The 2K1 soul?
I'm not sure. Let me see.
It is let me find it. It's the other shot trigger, apparently.
There's two shot triggers.
Apparently. Yeah, apparently so. So it's when you climax combo with the shot trigger. If I'm wrong, I apologize to everybody, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Then you get to pay the cost of one stock and search your deck. Oh, no. It's not search your deck at all. Look at the top four cards of your deck, pick a master or servant character and add it to hand, and put the rest in the waiting room. Till the end of the turn, this gets 5k. So it's a 14k when you play the climax combo if you pay the cost,
If you pay the cost.
which is fine. I was I was completely wrong about this card. I thought it was search your whole deck, and
No,
I had a whole spiel prepared, but
I
no, now
remember
it's just
I remember reading this effect. I think the effect is okay. I still wouldn't pay. I don't. I think at level 2 you're almost like coming to the point where it's too late to be trying to fix your hand with these kind of effects.
I don't think it's bad though. I just don't know if I dedicate room in a deck for it.
Exactly. I mean,
And
running
yeah,
this means it's an 8 card investment to run this in your deck. So it's like
it's not necessarily A. It's like you could run two because Saber is supremely searchable.
this is true. You could run 2 and like 3 of the climax if you wanted to,
Yeah.
but
Well, I say supremely searchable, but I only really mean by the first two cards we talked about.
that's all you need, really.
Yeah, and there's a brainstorm later, but yeah,
Yeah,
that's
the weapon trait being relevant.
yes, exactly. Anyway,
Next,
I this card is meh, like it's perfectly fine, but I don't see it in any deck except maybe a dedicated Saber deck.
I agree. As far as competitive play is concerned, I'm gonna say it's bad, but
Hmm.
it's not unusable by any means.
Sure. So next card is the 3/2 Shiro, Under the Morning Light or whatever it's called. It's a come and play heal, and when it comes to play, you can drop a weapon trait to give this card plus 2.5 and 1 soul. I
Is
don't
it
even
come to
want to
play? I
talk
think
about
it's
this
on
card.
attack. You can do it every turn.
Is it on attack? No, it's come to play.
It's
It's
only
come to
come to
play.
play. Ah,
Yeah, like I really don't want to talk about this card.
no, this is
It's a
bad.
heal, and there's nothing more about it.
This is a mediocre card by all stretches. I mean, three soul is okay, but having to ditch for it means it's not good.
You've got way better cleaners already. Like the Fate Zero Sabers are good cleaners. The Kiritsugu too, if you want to talk about that. But this card is just not good in my
Yeah,
opinion.
moving
It's
on.
it's fine. It's a heal, but it's outclassed, and that makes it not good.
Yeah, exactly. It's just in the context of set. It's just you would never run it.
Hmm, pretty much. Oh well, yeah, best girl build, I guess. Best girl is Shiro for the record. Anyway, next card. Let's talk about this Saber. When this card attacks, choose one of your characters, gets 4k. Oh, well, we were just talking about cards that could kill things, and this one is already better than that, Shiro.
Oh, yep.
And then we got a resonance effect.
I don't know what it resonates with though.
Uh, I really hope it's a good card. Anyway, it's a Shiro. One cost and show the Shiro from hand. We'll talk about it. I'll look for it anyway.
Cool.
One cost, reveal the Shiro from hand.
Oh, it's
When this
next actually.
card, um,
Yeah.
when this card is front attacked, you get to do that. Pay one cost, show the Shiro, and it gets 2/5. So it's a one cost. No, that's just awful. It
Yeah.
turns it turns your okay. I get the idea. It turns the level 0 Shiro into a pseudo counter. Props for trying, but no, no.
It's just like just having big beefy level threes is just
Yeah.
not really
I'm
relevant anymore.
yeah. Public service announcements. Big level threes are only good if your opponent is bad.
Or if they're bodyguard.
Nah, not even.
Not even.
Yeah. Even if they're bodyguard, there are decks that can get over it, and at that point, you put all your eggs in one basket, and you just kind of die.
That's fair.
So no, this card is bad. Pretty art, but so is every card in the set. Okay, next, it's the Shiro that it resonates with.
The target.
Yeah, strengthening Shiro or something. When this card comes to play, you have to look at the top card. No, you mill the top card. If it's a climax, this card goes to stock. Oh, this is my favorite effect at level 0.
It's a very good effect.
Yes, and when this card comes to play, it gets 1/5 for the turn. So yeah, yeah, no, I really like this
This
card.
is this is a more runnable card than the Resonance
Than the level
Saber.
3. Hey, yeah, that's kind of depressing in my opinion. I really like this effect because I'll break it down. If you do mill a climax, then it goes to stock, so you get your stock out of it. The only thing you lose out on is damage, which at level 0 is not necessarily a bad thing. Next, it's a mill effect, so running a bunch of these is fine. If you play 2 or 3 down, it's a pseudo brainstorm. And if you do go to stock, then it opens a slot up, and you'll probably get to level 1. Or you'll cancel it, at which point you can do your normal level 0 game plan. It's just good.
I agree. I think this card is very, very good. Definitely one of the better options for yellow color fixing. I think the only competition this card could be facing for yellow color fixing is the Fate Zero Kiritsugu.
Yeah, there's also a 3.5 Saber in Fate Zero. Is it 3.5 or 4K? It's a good card, I remember that much.
Yeah.
Anyway, this card is honestly pretty great. I think it's playable.
I'd
I'm
say I would personally put this in most of the decks I'd run if I'm running yellow. I just
I am
don't feel a reason why you wouldn't at level 0.
so biased against this card, but that's just me. I'm biased towards this card. Yeah, anyway, next card. 1-0 Saber, 4.5k. Was this a TD card, or was it just one of the early spoilers?
I think it's just one of
Oh,
the early spoilers, but
doesn't really matter. Comes into play, gains 1/5, so it is a 6k
6k.
for a turn. And it's got a climax combo with, let me find what it's with. Do you know what it's with? 2k 1 soul?
I wouldn't be
Um,
surprised.
okay, so it's climax combo with Fateful Night. It is a stock soul. Yeah, it's stock soul. Stock soul from Waiting Room.
Oh, they reused
Um,
this card art too.
yeah, let me just check. Is this a climax combo from the first set? Climax from the first set, I mean.
No, they
No,
used
it's not.
this.
No, no.
They
They
used
used
this
this
card
art
art for
for
the event.
the Summon Saber event,
Yeah.
didn't they? Yeah. So no. So what this card does is, when this attacks, if that climax, the stock soul is in the climax zone, you can bounce one of your characters to hand.
Oh, it is a TD.
There you go. Um, I like this effect. It's effectively a plus.
Yeah, you can bounce
Because
reverse characters.
exactly. So you save a character, and in essence, you gain a +1 because you didn't lose that character. I mean, you use the stock soul, so you go -1, so you only break even. And you'll probably lose this card because it's only 4/5. Maybe with Clock Encore, but I don't know why you Clock Encore this unless you have another
You can't
climax.
give this card Clock Encore its servant weapon.
God damn it! I have to remember that sabers don't have Clock Encore. Ignore what I just said. Ignore what I just said.
I think as far as the card is concerned, one of its better uses is if you survive an extra turn, you can use it to bounce your own sabers back to hand to get the effect the second time.
What do you? Or you could. Oh no, you could bounce Musashi, couldn't you?
Exactly. That's what you could be
Oh
bouncing.
God.
You could be bouncing Musashi's back to
Yes.
hand.
Yeah. So
Basically, you're
I think
producing the same girlfriend's effect except via a stock soul combo.
I hate that stupid deck. Yeah. No. This is It's fine. Like I could see this being pride of place as the level 1 combo in a saber focused deck because not that
Saber.
many other good options. Um.
I don't see a reason to run it over to the double rare Shiro personally, as far as
Oh no, no,
pluses are
not
concerned.
not in like a meta deck, but in like
Exactly.
a mono saber deck.
Exactly.
It's really good, I reckon.
In a mono saber deck, I think this is runnable, and you'd probably run it probably with the
It's
vanilla
probably
saber
the
from
four
Fate
of level
Zero.
one. I think it's the four of level one. I don't think the 106Ks from the old sets are any good, but that's just me.
That's fair.
Um, yeah, okay. So I think
Very
it's
runnable.
fine. Like I have to give it a meh rating because you probably wouldn't play it in a meta deck. We'll see, but
You could
yeah,
definitely
yeah,
cheat it
whatever.
into some decks, but I don't personally think it's worth splashing into most decks, just because Stock Soul is kind of a funny climax to be
Fox
adding
Soul
in
is
randomly.
yeah, it's interesting. I like it, but I can't say everyone else is.
Next,
Um, it's a Shiro. It's a 10
it
1035.
resonates back to
Yeah, it's
the
a master
4K
and
saber.
weapon. You have to reveal the 4K saber at your climax phase, and if you do, if you do, then one of your characters gets 1/5, which is
Yeah.
it's fine. Like
Oh wait, this is
actually,
a
I'm
this is a
starting to
back
see
row.
this deck come together.
This is a
Yeah, I'm
back row.
starting to see this card. You think it's bad?
It's no, it's a back row. It's a
Yeah, it's a
yeah,
back row card. It's not a beta.
yeah.
And then it's got a 2 cost and tap this
Rest.
character to search for a weapon trait and add to hand.
Mm,
That's fine. Like we see this sort of effect all the time, and it's always playable, not a game plan.
Personally, I think as a profile, I can't see this really being run. Um, One, it feels underpowered relative to, let's say, other sets, like peers from other sets. In general, this effect on 1/0s is a global 500 to a trait.
Hmm.
Uh,
Well, in effectively, a 1/5 boost is often better than Global
but the
500 to a
difference is that
trait,
it's a 1/5 boost only on your turn.
which is fine in my opinion. Like, we've got Clock Encore in this set,
Yeah. I mean,
and yeah,
if
like,
there's a card that you really can't get over with your 1/0 Shiros, then this could make the difference.
hmm
But then you're, again, like, then you lose the option of running the 0/0 send the stock Shiro because you're basically kind of pigeonholed into running the 4K Saber
yeah,
instead.
that's true. That's definitely true. That's definitely a consideration. Wow, I didn't think of that. So yeah, this card is meh for me. I think it's playable, but not something amazing.
I probably would never run this.
Okay, we don't have to agree on ratings. Like, you can
Yeah,
just call it bad.
I would say this is bad. I mean, it's not like bad in the sense that like it's unplayable. It's bad in the sense like in
You
a
never run
competitive
it.
deck it just doesn't belong.
Yeah, fair enough. I can see where you're coming from. So the next card is a 105K
Oh my God,
Saber.
everything
It's got
resonates.
resonance with the same stupid 4K Saber.
Oh Jesus,
Um,
Jesus.
and against 4K. Not 4K,
2K.
against 2K.
No,
Um,
I mean,
okay,
one
we have a judgment.
it's servant weapon, so like you can't even say it's like a nice beater because you can't even give it clock encore, and it's a
Yeah.
107K on your turn. It's like no,
Yeah,
I
the 107K is fine. Like 107Ks are amazing in some sets.
I
In
mean
this set,
it's amazing if it's a 1065 on both turns, but a 107K on one turn is kind of debatable. And again, you're
the Planet One
pigeonholed
begs to differ.
you're pigeonholed back into the running four of the
Oh
4K
yeah, yeah,
sabers, and
yeah.
that's always going to come back to bite resonance very
Yeah, I
hard.
reckon. Yeah, like if you don't have the 4K Saber for whatever reason, then you'd actually prefer just to come and play game 1/5. Because this card is gonna die. Like there's no two ways about that.
Yeah, it's not going to last to the end of opponent's turn.
Yeah,
and you can't even like let it last to the end of opponent's turn with like clock on her. It's very tragic.
pretty much. Okay, let's get to
Next
the
card.
Tiger card. She's a troll. She comes in and replace the top card of your opponent's stock with a card from their waiting room.
Okay, so it's
So
a
this is
producer
a
sound effect from IMAS.
yes, or the Tsugumi from Nisekoi. There's a bunch of cards
Yeah, a
that do
bunch of
this.
cards with this effect. I
I think it's flavorful because she's a troll.
yes. I don't.
Otherwise, no.
No. I think the effect is more useful at level 0 if they trigger a climax early, because generally sets have the hardest time paying out climaxes at level 0.
Debatable, but yes.
So I just no.
Yeah. Anyway, next card. It's a Gil, who notably has lost his weapon. Not weapon. His royalty trait.
But he didn't have the royalty trait back in Fate Stay, so
You mean in Fate Stay? Because
yes.
Fate Zero is like a prequel. Well,
Fair
he's
enough.
still like a demigod type person.
He is still like final boss, but I mean in Fate Stay he was still servant weapon. He was the royalty
Yeah.
trait was like kind of just used in Fate
Fate
Zero.
Zero thing. They want to push the Three Kings theme or whatever.
Exactly. But let's see. It's come and play. Rest a.
No, it's come and play. Choose master or servant. Tap.
I wouldn't run it because it's not on trait.
I just don't think it's a great card. If it was one of those which had top check, if it's not a servant or master, then tap, then that's actually a playable card. Like I've played that in some decks,
I
but
think if it was master, if this was a Shiro, it's very playable because you can always just tap your global clock encore, and now you have a 106k beater on the field for free.
yes, which is well, that's not what this card can do. We're talking about what ifs. So
Yeah,
this
sorry.
card is just
This is a
bad.
what if. That's why we're talking about what ifs because this card is not good.
Yep. So
Moving on.
we'll just call this card bad and move on. Like it's Gilgamesh. If you have a hard on for Gilgamesh, then yes, you get to play it. If you don't, then don't play it.
It's one of the. The next card is the Shiro 1/1 15
Shout outs to John Borden.
Hashtag statistically best deck.
Yes, this is the um
Leafo counter.
Leafer counter. It was first in Project Evo, but we now call it the Leafer counter. When you use the counter effect, you can look at the top card of your deck. If it is a master or servant trait, add it to hand and ditch a card. So it's lost 500 power from being a vanilla counter in exchange for this effect, and I think it's a lot worse at level 1 than level 2.
I completely agree. I think the difference between paying 2/1, waiting till level 2 to get 2500,
Yeah, 2500 is just way bigger than 1500,
and
honestly.
it's
Like,
generally speaking, the one level wait isn't going to kill you, especially in a set
exactly.
with as many clock encores as this set
Exactly.
will have. It's just not super relevant.
Yeah. So the good thing about this deck is not this deck. The good thing about this card is basically you get to look at the top card of your deck. If it's a Master or Servant, aka damage, you get to add it to hand and then filter. If it's a climax, then whatever, you get to cancel.
Yeah. Luckily, Fate as a set generally doesn't run too many events, so you won't run into an issue there.
Yeah, pretty much.
So it's
yeah,
I'd say
fine.
runnable.
The one problem I have with this card is it conflicts at the level 1 counter slot with the left hand of Saber Lancer, which is a really good counter, and the bondable rider counter from the Hollow Ataraxia set.
I think the level 1 counter in most cases should be the Fate Zero left-handed the
I think
Lancer.
so. Yep, so that's the main problem
It's
with this card.
it's a
If it was-
1-1-2-5
if it was a
counter, right?
2-1, it would be amazing, yeah.
It's a
Yeah,
1-1.
it's a 1-1-2-5.
Yeah, that's definitely the counter to be running
Yeah.
at level 1.
I forgot exactly what the requirement was. I think it was like if you have whatever. It was a better counter than
Yeah.
like this effect is more powerful than the 1-1-2-5 counter, but I don't know. Like
I just
I
think
think
the
that
1500
decks that want to
counters.
run level 1 counters in the first place and aren't capitalizing on Clock Encore don't want a 1-5 counter.
Exactly. I think a costless 2k counter would have been much more relevant for this set.
I see this card still having like a places a 1 or 2 of in most decks because of that the whole scry and check to scry effect.
It's very useful at level 3 to
I
not
would
die.
still call it good. Like it can still take the place of a 2-1 counter. It just could be better.
I'd say meh. I'd say very techable. I wouldn't ever probably
enough.
run more than 1 or 2 of this in a deck.
I place very high emphasis on anything that can minimize damage, and this is one of those cards. So yeah.
Next.
Next is a Mitsuzuri. Do we really have to talk
No,
about this card?
I'm gonna skip it because it's
It's
one
really
two two
stupid.
2 not mastered, 3 whatever the text is. I'm sure it's not good enough to redeem it.
It makes it a 12k
Okay,
marker
it
card.
definitely correct. It was not enough to redeem it.
And also it's a really finicky, marker ability.
Oh,
We're
it's
not
a
going to cover
marker
it, so
ability. Okay,
you
no.
can wait till Heart of the Cards translates it.
Frontal 500. Moving on.
Bad trait. Well, not bad trait, but not good trait.
And
Okay, so next Mitsuzuri is a 0025. Sorry, there's a convoy passing by my window. At your draw phase, if this is the only card in the front row, it gets 4k.
no,
Who's gonna leave this as the only card in the front row? It's a 2/5.
no, don't run it. I mean, you already have better yellow color fixing. Moving on. Oh, solo
All
play.
right, so we've got an essay.
Is
Each
he?
of your other something. Which
No,
Shiro is this?
I think if you have one or less other, isn't it?
No, it's all of your other this Shiro. Wait. Yeah. For each of your other this Shiro card, this card gets 1/5, and
+1 level.
no. Let's go over this again.
Okay,
This card is if you have the other Shiro, it
sure.
gets 1/5,
Okay,
and the card opposite this gets +1 soul.
okay. Eh,
That's traditionally a drawback, a very big drawback.
yeah. I'm not a fan. I think again, this like when you're looking at level zeros, you're looking at is it a good tech option or is it a good splash for color fixing?
Let me
This isn't either.
is this the it is. It's the 3k maybe go to stock Shiro, which partially redeems this card, but no, not really.
No, it's just the go to stock shiro is just you don't need another yellow color fixer unless you're running mono yellow at this point.
It's also really bad traits. It's glasses and Sedokai, although I think I know one person who's happy it's a glasses trait.
Vanilla,
Yes, next is can we just go back to the essay for a sec?
sure.
I think that the opponent gets +1 soul is actually okay at level 0, because you want to hit level 1 first. So
Fair.
it has that going for it, but the fact that you need another specific card is like and it's a card that might not even be on the field because it might have stock. It
Exactly.
usually, but it might have.
But you also run into the issue, at least personally, it's like when you're looking. I guess late game is not a huge deal. You just make sure you don't have the other Shiro on the field.
Yeah.
But
That's shit.
it's just like my personal thing is like when you're looking at level 0 cards, you're either looking at is it a good tech option, is it a good splash? This doesn't strike me as either.
Oh, and on the topic of it being a bad thing at level 3, you might think that, they're doing more damage to you, it's better at level 3. That's really not the case, because they can just put a 1 soul in front and swing for 2, and at that point it's
Yeah,
not
then it's really bad.
Yeah.
22
And
is vanilla.
it's relevant trait, at least, and name.
23.
Yeah, 23 is another Mitsuzuri. At the beginning of your opponent's draw step, they can look at the top card of... Wait. At the beginning of your opponent's draw step, you show the top card of your deck, and your opponent decides whether it goes to the top or to the bottom. So this is an awful 3/5.
Yeah, no.
If you reveal a climax, then they get to deprive you of a cancel for some time. And if you reveal not a climax, then whatever.
Whatever it is, if it's something you wanted, then well, I guess it doesn't really matter. They're just gonna leave it.
It's really not that bad. It's just not good traits.
It's
And you have
just-
better 3/5s.
I mean, yeah, and you just come back to it's not the go to stock Shiro, so
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Let's see. Next
this
card
one's good.
is a Shiro. It's a
This
4K.
this is a runnable powered card at level 0 if you want it.
When this card comes to deck, look at the top card of your deck.
It's
If
not
it's
a-
level 0 or less, then
Rest this.
this card taps.
This is like a runnable card if you couldn't get your hands on the two stock Shiros, for instance.
Level 0 or less character, I must
Yes,
stress. So
if it's a
events,
climax or
climaxes,
whatever, it still
levels,
doesn't rest.
which is fine.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I
It's
mean,
fine.
it's
It's
just
not weapon trait, annoyingly.
yeah. That just means you can't search for it with or salvage it using the only.
You also
plussing.
can't drop it with the old Rin Archer, or
Yeah.
if that's relevant, but I don't think it's very
No.
relevant.
Vanilla.
The best type of vanilla.
The
No good traits, the overcosted for marginally increased power. My favorite.
Yep. One.
Um,
Wait. Yeah. 1, 2. Two soul vanilla. Yeah, no. Um,
Well, the two soul makes it. Oh, I wouldn't say better than a card we'll talk about later, but it's not bad. Anyway,
oh
we're
man,
pushing time a lot, so let's move on.
I don't even know
Next
what
is
this.
Tiger. When this comes to stop, oh god, it's this. It's the stupid guessing game from Sorokake. When this comes to field, your opponent says 0, 1, or 2.
Oh
Then
god.
you reveal the top card of your deck. If the card matches the level, then you draw a number of cards where X equals,
Level plus one.
yeah, what the opponent said plus 1.
Eh,
I probably mistranslated it, but I don't care because this is not a runnable card.
exactly. Moving on.
Next is a 2/1 Shiro Climax combo with. Okay, so one cost, drop a card. Climax combo with. We haven't had a 2k1 soul yet, so I presume this is the 2k1 soul.
Sure.
You can pay the cost. If you do, then. Oh.
There's no
Um,
2K1 soul in this
there's
color.
no 2k1 soul. Okay,
It's
then
with the wind trigger.
wind. Yep. Um, you choose one of your. What card is that? It's a saber. And. Oh, what does this do? My Japanese is failing me.
Or-
Um, this might be a sleeper actually, which is why I'm actually taking the time to look at it.
Yep. That is very fair. I mean, first of all, the fact that it comes with wind trigger already not a strike for it because wind
Yeah, like
triggers are very
wind-
useful.
mm.
So definitely
So
not a minus being combo with wind trigger.
sorry guys, just unprepared. What does it do? Oh, whatever. We can move on. Just keep this card in mind. It might actually be good. Um,
2-1. I think it gives the
oh no no
opponent.
no 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 no. It's a um. Oh oh.
I think we have a realization.
One cost. Bounce this card to hand. When the win climax is played, you can pay the cost, and then you get to early play. Um, oh, the terrible saber. You get
Oh,
to
the
early
level
play the
3
terrible
saber?
saber.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus. Okay, moving on then.
Uh, yeah.
You
No.
don't run this.
I thought this might have been okay. It was not.
Okay.
Anyway,
2-1
it's a if it's in the center front row,
plus
it gets
1.
plus 1 soul. It's
Moving
fine.
on. I
Yeah. Is it
like
weapon
it's
trait
servant
or
weapon. It,
trait?
at least it has the weapon trait, but
Yeah.
yeah, moving
Okay,
on.
2/1 vanilla. Saber's not actually a good supported character in this set, so
Nope.
no. 1
Then
0 event, a moment of peace. Look at the top 4 cards, choose a
weapon.
weapon trait. Choose a weapon trait and add it to hand. And the rest go to waiting room.
And then
And
you do a
then
card.
choose a character, get 4k. This card goes to clock.
Oh, it's literally the card from Loser. Except
Yes.
instead of 2K1, it's 4K power.
Yes.
Oh, it's okay.
It's okay, I guess. Yeah. Yeah,
It's
we'll
okay.
go
I
with
mean, the problem that you run into is that there is a nice card in blue that makes this card practically obsolete.
that. Pretty much.
All right,
Pretty much.
bunch of climaxes.
Okay, two's.
Oh, there's one card left.
Oh no, we've got a 2-0 event. This got a little buzz in the foreign community.
No, it shouldn't
People
have.
asking why would you ever give your cards hexproof on your own turn? Because this card does not have a counter icon.
Money counter is the only reason, but
Yeah, pretty much. So what this card does is it gives all your characters 1/5 and hexproof. So in essence, what you're doing is insulating yourself from anti-damage counters. That's pretty much it.
the only time this is, I think, actually playable is if you had a full field of Musashis and happened to have this in hand as well. I personally
And I also
don't
happen to be playing against like LB.
exactly. I feel like the condition. I guess it works against like a lot of the popular decks. I mean, Kantai 2, to an extent, Milky.
Yeah.
But the Milky
Yeah, fair
anti-damage
enough.
counter is terrible.
Yeah, that's fair enough. That's fair enough.
But
Okay, so
yeah,
we
climaxes.
we talked briefly about the climaxes. Their climaxes. What is there to say?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll move on to green.
Okay.
The
This
first one is
clock
level
kicker.
3 rider.
This clock
This
kicker
is the clock kick.
is
The
in
other
my
effects.
opinion, not good. relative
I
to
think it's playable.
what you.
It's playable, but I wouldn't play it over other finishes.
I mean, I completely
Um,
agree, but even for the Rider, I wouldn't even play it over the Fate Zero Rider Clock Kicker either.
Never mind that. You'd probably still play Rin and Archer. Anyway, this card, when it comes to field, choose an opponent level 2 or lower character from anywhere
Pop
and
it.
put it in the waiting room. Then your opponent can replace it with a level 0 from their waiting room. Um, Whatever. The keyword here is can, I
Yeah,
believe.
you don't have
Correct me
to.
if I'm wrong.
I don't believe you have to.
Basically, if they pop a level 2 in the front row, they don't have to put a level 0 there for you to clock kick.
Yeah.
So what this generally amounts to is either a straight up plus, which is okay, I guess. It's not great against decks that have advantage engines, or you're killing their back row, which is fine, but whatever, right?
Yeah, again, I don't think this card is great. I mean, as far as clock kickers go, I think the Fate Zero Rider is better, which also is
That's fair
great
enough.
because it has the name Rider, which is relevant because Fate Hollow
Yes,
Ataraxia
exactly.
is a set. I think the first effect is really nice if you run healers and you're playing Little Busters. That's it.
Forward, right?
That's about it. I mean, generally, if you're
Yes.
running green, you're also running the 3/3 heal event, and in that case, you can make Little Busters really sad.
Maybe they play two anti-heals.
In that case, you're really sad.
But you're also playing. You're paying 5 stock for this wombo combo. Like
I mean, you're paying 5 stock to pop a nice support, to heal 3, and clock
they're,
kick.
they're also that's also a set that can kill you when you're at 3-0. So I'm not sure it's that relevant even against LB.
That's completely fair. I wouldn't run this
Okay.
card over the alternatives.
It combos. It's a clock kick on combo, by the way, with a stock soul, I think, right?
With the gold bar, I thought.
Is it? I thought Gold Bar was the 1-0 combo.
There was a 1/0 combo. It is
Yeah,
stock
there
soul,
was.
though. It is stock soul. It is stock soul.
Yeah, it's stock soul. I remember it was a bit like the Lucia from Rewrite.
Moving on.
Anyway,
Next card is
yeah, I think this
dumb.
card is alright, but yeah. Oh, okay.
It's dumb.
This is the Akatsuki effect.
This is a dumb card.
Come to play, drop a card, look at top 4, and you
green
can put
character.
any green character you find there, add it to hand. This is a incredibly stupid archetype that superseded the old draw one, drop one when you come to play cards, and I don't understand why they printed it.
This card is incredibly dumb. Like, holy Jesus. I mean, Rider.deck had this one issue. The only issue being that it's hard to get the 0/0 Rider supports into your hand and onto the field. Because they're like, the traits
Let's
were
stress how bad that is.
the traits
They
were
played
absolutely
a
terrible.
They played an off-color 1-0, playing blue just for that, and then the 3-3 event, just so they could get this card onto the field.
You
But
don't
now
need
we
it.
have this card, which, yeah,
Oh my god. This card
like,
is dumb.
yeah. This card seems innocuous, but I would say this is one of the best cards in the set in terms of making old Fate decks extremely relevant again.
Yeah, never forget that the set got 2 of this card. Oh,
let's
Jesus.
we'll get to that in a sec. So next card. Look, so that card is obviously very good, but only in the Rider deck, which is fine because the Rider deck was very strong.
I think it's still very strong, to be honest, but obviously not as
That's
great as...
The other one is probably arguably better. Arguably. Okay, so what this card does, this 1-0 Rider is climax combo with the bar. When this card attacks, you have to sack another character on field, and then you add a card from your clock to your hand, and then clock your top deck.
Oh, it's on attack, though.
So it's-
Okay, that's...
It's on attack, yeah. So it's kind of like the Eva from Terraformers, except it's costless and it's also not a straight plus. Or it's straight
It is a
plus
plus.
if you're
It's a plus to
ramming
hand.
it.
It's a plus to hand.
Yeah, it's a plus to hand, but not card advantage unless it was something that you were planning on
Sacking
not living
anyways.
anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So which is I don't think there's a straight up level 1 bomb in this set, is there?
There is... No.
I know there is a
No.
bomb of some sort, but
The
no.
bomb is with
So-
red climax play, so you can't actually run that with this.
But let's just point out that the Sakura above is a
That's-
card that you will most likely run in,
This is
and
very
that
fair.
is a very good target to just sack.
I mean, personally, it comes in again. This is basically going to fill in holes for the old Rider deck.
I think it is a very viable replacement for the caster combo now that we have this stupid Akatsuki thing.
Exactly, and it also provides the bonus again. If you couldn't somehow get all your Hollow Ataraxia back rows into your hand via Akatsuki and other means, this is another way to ensure getting them to hand.
Yeah,
If
definitely, definitely.
yeah. But again, this is like a specialized deck. I don't think this would ever show up in a real meta deck.
I think that's perfectly fine. Fine conclusion. It's a card for Rider deck, and it's pretty good in that deck. Otherwise, it's just bad.
Yes. What is this 1/1?
I would still
This
say it's good though.
level
This one
assist?
one Lancer. It's a level X to servants in front,
Okay.
and when this comes to play, one of your opponent's characters gets neg 500.
I
No.
no.
Why is this rare? Like, it has enough effects to be rare, but no.
It has enough effects to be rare. It's also bad enough for me to believe that this is the last rare card printed in green. So, no.
Fair enough. And it is the last card printed in green. So next card is a Sakura. Um, uh, your center front row sports or weapon trait. So we're looking at the side characters and Shiro and also Archer and also the majority of servants actually, which is a pretty big flavor fail. Gets 1.5.
Probably not. No.
I think it's fine. It's just bad traits.
I mean, yeah. If it was the Fate
And
Stay
the
Sakura,
only
which
deck,
is tagged as Master, definitely more runnable.
let's also point out that the only deck that really runs significant green as not counters will also already have two back row.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
so
they have a
this
fixed back row. Oh no, the
this card
website
is just not good. The website did it blow up?
it blew up for me. Did it blow up for you?
No, it's still up for me. I reckon what we can do is we can just go to green and then do a second video because the file will be obscenely big otherwise.
Yeah. Um.
All right. So let's just quickly cover the rest of green.
Yeah. Okay.
Whenever you're ready.
It's coming back. No, that's the wrong set. Fate UBW
hmm
search. All right, it's back.
Okay, cool. So we're on page five,
Five. Yeah,
six,
five.
five. It's five. All right. So this card is
It's
a
another
1-0
Sakura.
Sakura, Archery Club Sakura. All of your other, whenever another sports or weapon trade attacks, it gets 1k. It's trying to do this mini sub theme. It's not going to work because
Nah.
bad traits.
Also, the fact that this weapon actually really hurts it in Rider.deck because the Rider that you're running in Rider.deck is Servant Royalty.
Yeah, that is true because we did not get a good level 1 rider in this set.
You could
Unfortunately.
argue the combo, but
That's not a wall,
it's
really.
not good. Two
It's
one.
kind yeah. 2-1 Lancer. If you got 5 or more stock, gets 1k and hand encore. Um, I'm not familiar with the old Lancer slash Bazette deck, so I'm not going to talk too much about that.
That was a
This
deck.
might fill a role.
I
I
feel
don't
like
know. I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings by saying this is a completely worthless card.
the last I
I'm just going to
remember
quickly
was
see.
there was a Lancer Saber deck that involved a 2/3 event.
Uh, yeah. No.
Moving on.
Yes, moving on. Next is this
Sakura's
asshole.
brother.
He's a one cost run to back row, the coward that he is. Very good flavor. His book trait. Oh no. His
It's
book trait.
book. Is that Master?
It's book in sports.
Okay, so no.
Hey, no spoilers. No spoilers. So one cost
Spoilers.
at your opponent's beginning of opponent's attack phase, you can pay cost, which is 1, and this card runs to back row.
No.
So we've seen this card, it's bad. We're not gonna talk too much
If it
about
was
it.
Mill instead, maybe, but no.
I don't get why he's book trade. Like,
He doesn't carry a book around. I don't get it.
no, he's supposedly smart, but he's also kind of a
Dick.
dick. Anyway, um, is that experience or red.
I
It's
think it's
experience. Yeah,
experience. What? Why is a
that's
what?
experience. It's experience. Anyway, experience with for every one of the runner Shinji that we
Oh
just talked
Jesus.
about, this gets 3k in
Oh
your level
no.
zone.
No.
So it's like 108k at level 2.
But it's below power
No,
at level
no.
one. No.
Yes,
No.
it's just not good. Okay, next Lancer. When this comes to field, look at the top two cards of your deck and then put them back as is. Like you
As
don't get to
is.
rearrange them.
Okay.
I think so. Yeah,
Still
it's
usable.
just to look at your top two.
Still
It's
usable.
usable. It makes
Brainstorm.
it makes the old Sakura Brainstorm super amazing.
Oh yes. Mill two. Draw.
Mill two and put a 2/1 rider from in
Oh
those
yes.
two
That
to
is
your
absolutely
yeah.
correct. Oh, I forgot about that effect.
Anyway,
Oh.
joking aside, this is not it's a playable card, but not a good card.
No, I mean
You
there
might
are
run
some old
one, I
plussing
guess.
brainstorms that you could use in tandem with this. There's a blue plussing brainstorm, pay one, mill two for every hit draw.
Eh,
But
eh, eh.
eh,
Look, if you're gonna brainstorm, you're gonna brainstorm, and if you weren't gonna brainstorm, you weren't gonna brainstorm.
exactly. I
This
mean,
could change that, but probably not, because if you weren't gonna brainstorm, there was probably a very good reason for you not wanting to brainstorm.
exactly.
Anyway,
2-1-3K
okay,
counter. Moving on.
we've got a vanilla counter. We've got a it's bad
Can't
traits
side it.
too. So Sakura,
Can't
yeah,
side
this
attack.
2/9k is
Lancer.
this card can't side attack as
Exactly.
opposed to your others. Okay,
Exactly.
this Lance card is one I'm excited to talk about.
Ooh, an event.
It's a stock swap.
Oh,
If you've got two or fewer green characters, you can't play this.
sure. So you can only really run
But
it
if
in Rider
in
deck.
Rider deck slash any Lancer theme deck, but if you do, your opponent puts all of their stock into the waiting room and then adds that many cards from the top of their deck to their stock.
Oh, so it's basically a clone of the Milky version.
It's the Milky slash IMAS version, but
Yes,
at level one.
at level
I
one.
don't know if the Milky one was at level one,
I think the
but
Milky one's at level
no,
two.
it's
It's
2/1 probably.
I think it's 2-1.
This is a very good card.
I mean, like your
So
opponent can have the cleanest stock in the world, and you could ruin their day with this.
pretty much like compression is a thing. If you want to know why, you can go to my blog because I don't want to talk about it here. And this ruins that, which is big fuck you.
Yeah, I think the
Oops.
ability to tamper with unknown zones is simply huge.
Yeah, yeah, it screws with people badly. Anyway, that was a lot of cards for a not very relevant character and a character who just got completely owned in the first season.
I
But
haven't
each to
watched
their
the
own.
first season, but I have watched the movie, which I assume is very similar to the first season.
I haven't watched the movie for reasons. Anyway, we can
For
call it a cut
reasons.
here. New video, yeah.
Okay, sure.